Hand over your wallet, dickhead.
I'm well trained in the art of grown-up karate, and I even... please!
Hey Benji, hey Dan, how you doing? Nice to meet you again for the third time, I guess.
Yeah.
We met at San Diego, we met at New York Comic Con. You guys were at the fandom party, we had a great time.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting to find out what the mystery of this show was going to be. You guys have kept it shrouded in mystery for so long, and I finally got the opportunity to watch it, and I laughed my ass off the entire time.
Good.
I'm glad.
I'm glad it lived up to the
Yeah,
hype.
seriously.
Like I said, I mean, you guys really go in on Australia in the show, and
Yeah.
and I really appreciate it. What was a lot of the things that gave you your ideas for Koala Man?
I mean, a lot of the Australia stuff mostly came from all of our wonderful Australian writers, which, the writers' room was a good split of Australians and Americans, and, us Americans so often in the room would just sit back and listen to the Australians tell their amazing stories of weird cultural things, show bags, and
Right.
the Great Emu War and things like that, where we're just like, oh yeah, we'll just make a show of all this. This sounds great. So yeah, I mean, that was a huge part of it. And
It was also very casually mentioned a lot of the times, by the Australians. They'd be like, oh, like when you go into the show and you get show bags, and we go, I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
we're like, oh, you don't have shows with show bags in America? We're like, no.
No, what do you So it was very kind of liberating to be freed from an American cultural context, because we were able to tell stories that haven't been told a million times before. I mean, we love these shows like Simpsons, South Park, Family Guy, but they've been on a long time and they've covered a lot of ground at this point. And so when you're trying to think of plot ideas that haven't been done to death, it was really helpful to get all new cultural touchstones that we had no idea about, and be able to craft episodes around those new ideas.
Right. And I mean, you guys almost make them seem, America and Australia almost seem like they're in two different universes. Like, like Australia is just extremely foreign place, like on a different planet. With the creatures and everything that you see throughout the show is just like, I can't believe they did this, and you guys did it. Obviously, having Justin, in the room, I'm not sure, what his full involvement is. I know when he was at the con, promoting this with you guys, but he doesn't have any voice talent roles or any other credits that I've seen. I know he's doing the space alien, so I cannot think of the name of it at the moment.
Justin is Chad Wagon in the third episode. He's the
Oh, what's crazy? I did, usually you can really pick up his voice, and I could not.
Yeah, he did a little bit of different.
Did it a little different.
Yeah, but he's Chad Wagon.
But I was thinking to myself, like, okay, does this show kind of fit into this Rick and Morty universe? Obviously it's somewhere down the line, after y'all get y'all 10 seasons of this, you get your crossover. I was expecting, just more of that universe to all be kind of combined. I guess next question is like, what was the decision to kind of make Koala Man, not give Koala Man superpowers? Because that's something that I was expecting more of like utility belt and more of like a crime fighting background. But what was the decision not to give him superpowers in the show?
I think it just was funnier. I think it's just funnier that he didn't. Batman. If you really pull back and think about what Batman is, it's like he hates crime so much. He dresses up like a bat, and he makes a lot of like equipment also themed like a bat.
Right.
And
it's when you step back from Batman, it's so silly. And we just wanted to embrace that with koala, like to embrace the silly side of it. Where it's like, what if it's a koala? And
what if he's not rich?
And what if he's not rich?
And what if he's not in shape?
Not in shape.
But he's gonna do it anyway. And so that to us was a real
his superpower is his determination and his compassion.
Right.
And like he's probably not the right man for the job, but he's the only one who's willing to do it, and someone's got to do it. And so, that's where he finds himself, and he never gives up. And it's just been super fun to write. Yeah.
As we realized that, and so once we made that discovery that it was actually funnier if he didn't have any powers and wasn't in great shape, that it became much funnier to put him up against people who did have powers and were supernatural and were actually scary and formidable. Because each time you're going, how's he going to get out of this? He doesn't have any ability whatsoever, other than his stick-to-itiveness and his sort of determination, and that is sort of the foundational tension of the show that I think makes it funny no matter what he goes up against. Because you're going, what is Kevin going to do against this alien? What is Kevin going to do against these manimals or whatever?
Was there any ideas that didn't make it past the writing room? Like, it was like, nah, this is just a little too much. Like, we can't possibly touch this.
Not
No.
really. I mean,
No.
sometimes, the only things, I mean, we went pretty crazy on the show. The only things we really would say no to were stuff where it was just crazy for crazy's sake. Like at the end of the day, like as zany as the show can get at times and out there, like it's always grounded in real emotional story about the family or relationships or some real heart. So as long as we could connect it to that, we could go wherever we wanted. And there was nothing where we were like, oh no, this is too far, we can't do this. Yeah.
Did you obviously, as writers and being, talking to the creator, did you guys have any kind of dream voice actors that you kind of wanted to be on this project that you reached out to try to get, or characters in the show that you tried to get?
Honestly, we got everyone that we wanted. I don't know how it happened, including Hugh Jackman. I mean,
I was surprised.
Hugh Jackman was the dream.
Hugh Jackman was
no way he'll ever do it.
Nope, not even possible. But we'll try, even though we know it's not going to work out.
And he was the quickest yes of anyone. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm in. And we're like, wait, what? Like, because he didn't care about negotiating details of a deal or this or that. Like, it was pretty straightforward, where it was just like, oh no, I love this show and I want to be a part of it.
I mean, he's the biggest star in the world, so for him to be on Koala Man is not something we ever could have anticipated. But we're so thrilled that he just loves the show and he loves Michael, and I think he loves that it's set in Australia, and it gives him a chance to be Australian and to do this. He loves Big Greg. He really likes
Big Greg. I'm expecting some Greatest Showman in some season 2. Like,
we're hopeful. But yeah, he's amazing. And so we were really fortunate with the cast. We really went after some dream people, and they all said yes.
And Koala Man's lack of outfit. He's usually. I was wondering if he was going to do like full costume, but it's just like, all right, this is the shirt I wore to work today. I'm just going to throw the helmet on. And for some reason, nobody knows that he's Koala Man. I mean, that's the joke, right?
That's the joke.
Did you guys have any initial costume ideas other than just like the regular T-shirt?
We always just like the idea that this, for whatever reason in this world, just a cape and a mask is all you need.
It's almost like the people of Dapto don't even care enough to find out that it's Kevin because he's just so annoying to them that they just kind of tolerate him. And they're almost like if anybody spent 5 minutes trying to figure it out, they probably could, but they don't even bother because he's so annoying. And so that I think was sort of our logic for that.
Oh my goodness! Look, the show was absolutely amazing. I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to be able to watch it. And every episode I just couldn't put down. I almost had to watch. I had to watch it again because, like I said, a lot of expectation was really built up over this entire summer. You guys just So was it? I guess my last question here, was there any as far as like the episode count, because you guys had 8 episodes, were you aiming for more, or was this like the perfect number that you wanted?
For the first season, I think it was the perfect number. If we're lucky enough to do more seasons, I think that we can fit it into however many episodes that we get. But it 8 felt really good. It felt like a really clear, like there was like a clear midway point, and we knew storytelling wise certain things had to happen around episode 5, and that really saw us through all the way to the end. And so I think it was a great amount. It's also like a very bingeable amount. It's enough for people to, you can enjoy every episode on its own completely as an episode.
Right.
But if you have
You
2
can-
hours,
Yeah, you can basically binge through the entire season in one sitting, and it's not that hard to do.
which is cool. And that's a
yeah.
whole different, and that's a different experience, you know, and I think, you know, watching it all in a row, you do pick up like, oh, they set this up, you know, in episode 3, they said this, and now it's paying off in episode 7, things like that. So,
Right.
so yeah, I think 8 was a great number, but you know, we'll do as many as they let us.
Yeah.
No, I got a feeling this is gonna be a, like I said, 10+ season thing. You guys are gonna be doing this for a while. Just this first season alone, was there an episode that you just like, man, this is really my favorite so far?
I mean, it's really hard. Like we sort of I over the course of making this season, like every week we would we'd be like, I think this one's my favorite now. No, I think this one's my favorite. There's stuff I truly love in everything, and you know, I think probably for me the finale is my favorite, just because that's where everything comes together. That, you know, all the little things that we, you know, that don't even seem like we're setting things up,
Right.
but they all come together in a really satisfying way.
I love the finale. I also love episode 5 where he's taking Liam his jacket in the outback, and you get to kind of really see why he is the way that he is, and how he became Koala Man. I love that episode. I think it came out even better than we hoped.
Well, thank you guys, Benji, Dan. Thank you so much. Thank you for making something that we can step away from reality from once again. And this everything going on. This is hilarious. Wish you guys so many more seasons, and I appreciate you for taking the time to do this interview with me today.
Thank you,
Thanks
Terrell.
so
We
much.
really appreciate it.
No problem. I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bye.